This is just on another level. Hi, I'm David Johnson, and I've been collecting motorsport memorabilia probably since I was early teens. Before that, it would be anything to do with Formula One, so models, model kits, but as I've got older, the collection's evolved a little bit. This is a little bit of my collection. For me, what I enjoy looking at and using as an artist is my auto courses, because my dad had a few of these. I've got a few of them signed. I'll go with Sir Jackie Stewart here. So this is looking at his 1971 championship winning season. I thought this was a great opportunity, so I got each of his championship years signed. When working with Sir Stirling Moss, he was the first driver that I ever worked with. One of the showstoppers in my collection, but for me, having this spurred on me wanting to get helmets signed by each of the other drivers. But yeah, this is an Ever Oak helmet, which he signed. It says on there, my dad said if I wanted to race, I had to wear a helmet. A couple of visors, so this one's signed by George Russell. So what I try and do, if I can't get the helmet straight away, getting a visor signed allows me to later on source a helmet. And then this one here, this is Ollie Bearman's. So I saw him at the start of the year and he wrote a message on there. I know it probably devalues the collection, but I like it to have the drivers signed to David. It's just a bit more personal. I mean, for me, it was seeing my dad watching Formula One on telly. So he was cheering on Nigel Mansell. And as I was slowly getting into it, I started to cheer on Damon Hill. And seeing him miss out on the championship and then finally winning it. That's what got me hooked, really. So this is a print from a painting that I did for Mercedes HPP in Brixworth. And this was from a painting which was then given to Lewis as his leaving gift. It's probably one of the most detailed pieces I've ever created, because in Brixworth, what they do, they actually create the power units. So all of these show the detail of every power unit that led him to his World Championship winning seasons. Yeah, it's very tricky to do. A lot of the design team were also observing, giving me pointers throughout the process, so it had to be spot on. Well, normally a painting's about 200 hours. I think this was close to double that. I didn't leave the studio much or see much light, but it was worth it. And it's just the thought that Lewis has got the original. Yeah, that's very special for me. When I was younger, at school, everything I would do, whether it be a design technology project, an art project, it would always have to focus on Formula One, to the frustration of the teachers sometimes. I then later became a teacher, but in the background, I continued to develop my skills as an artist, because I loved capturing the shapes and the colours of the cars. And for me, that got me closer to the sport. It got to a point where it gained the attention of the drivers. So Sir Stirling Moss, he was the first driver I ever worked with. I can remember contacting him and getting a letter back with SM on the back. And that led to the first driver signing. And it got bigger and bigger, to the point where I was asked to paint at the Monaco Grand Prix. But unfortunately, the school wouldn't give me cover. So I thought, okay, I've done this long enough. I need to maybe go full-time as an artist. And from there, it just boomed. So I feel very lucky to get even closer to the sport that I love. So these are my two amalgam 1/8 models, and these are very, very special. I grew up always wanting to have one, and I didn't think it would ever happen. And now I actually have two, and these were sourced through F1 Authentics. And for me, I mean, they're just incredible. When I create artwork, I get obsessed with the detail, and to actually see the detail in these creations up close, seeing every rivet, yeah, this was something I was keen to have in the collection. And then behind them, the race suits of Damon Hill and Mario Andretti. So the suit here is actually from Damon, and I got him to sign it as well. So these are proudly displayed in the studio, and the other one with Mario. And this is from the Marlborough Challenge in about 1982. And he signed it then. I do come into the studio from time to time just to look at these. So yeah, very proud to have these in the collection. For me, I feel collecting, it enhances my passion for the sport. And it excites me, really. And that does spur me on to create more artwork, does spur me on to collect more. I can't say that to everyone in the family because I'm running out of space. I think a moment which stands out isn't actually on track, and it would be Lewis's reaction to 2021, showing that moment and showing what it means to the driver, the reaction and how they lift themselves up. It was so powerful, and I think that kind of symbolises what these drivers do day in, day out. Obviously, as a bit of a Lewis fan, yeah, it was something I watched live, and then found myself just washing up for the rest of the day, just to try and take my mind off. Not that I've got lots of washing up, but yeah, it's something which I don't think people really ever get over, only because of the way the rules were adapted. But for both drivers, it was an incredible season, and it's probably more a shame it ended in that way, rather than anything else. This is part of my visor collection. So when I've created a painting for one of the drivers, I try and get them to sign an auto course, a visor, ideally a helmet, but they're quite hard to get hold of. So this is the next best thing. There's quite a few here. So you've got Oscar Piastri from when I did a commission for him, World Endurance Racing. So I've got the 3 Le Mans winning drivers with Pierre Guidi, James Calado and Giovinazzi as well. Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen as well. And then we've got Tom Christensen here. Yeah, these are very special pieces for me. It's something I've spoken to the family a bit about. They don't believe me, but one day I hope to have an actual Formula One car. It won't fit in the studio, but it would be maybe in the next house. I grew up thinking I'd never be able to have an actual helmet from the driver or a 1/8. I was only collecting the 1/43, that was about it. To maybe think forward that I've got this, hopefully that, it'd just be amazing. So this is the main part of my collection. As you can see, I've got the race helmets for some and replica helmets. If it's not who I've worked with, it's the F1 World Champions, Schumacher. So this is actually from his first race with Jordan. So this is a replica helmet. And then what I try and do with the helmets, the replicas, I try and get actual period helmets from the time sprayed up. So this is an Air Eye helmet from that season. And then it's just been sprayed in Schumacher's colours, but putting that visor on just completes it beautifully. And the Prost one is quite special because it's also signed by Damon from the '93 season. It shows his signature back then because it's slightly different to today. I always wanted to get this, and I didn't know if I ever would be able to. So I've worked with Sir Jackie about 3 or 4 times now, and I was able to get him to sign the visor. It's a shame it's not in silver. I mean, just to have that is very, very special. A few of the more modern day pieces that really stand out for me. So we've got Lando Norris. So he's got about, I think it's 13 of my paintings now. And with this one, he's written a message on top. I don't know if it devalues the collection too much, but I always try and get them to put to David. So that's one of the official Bell replicas as well. F1 Authentics, they stock my limited edition prints, and it's great to be able to have them do that because they have an incredible audience. Me as an F1 fan, I actually purchased quite a few things from F1 Authentics over the years, so to see my artwork there as well really means a lot. As well as F1 Authentics, Silverstone Museum, they also have my artwork. I have a big display there as well. So currently there's an exhibition from ceiling to floor with my artwork. Yeah, I'm very pleased to be exhibiting there. And this is the driver that I think got me loving Formula One, Damon Hill. And as I was getting more and more into it, Damon was the driver that yeah, I was cheering on. So to have this now in the collection is very, very special. When I was watching Formula One with my dad, and we would collect small models. So I've got the 1997 Schumacher Mini Champs model there. That was the first model I ever got. And I remember back then we'd always say, it wouldn't it be amazing if one day we could have a full-size helmet. So yeah, I feel very lucky to have quite a few of these now. In terms of race used helmets, so this is a Logan Sargent and it's an F2 helmet, and it's amazing that it's got all of the microphone and everything inside, and it's even got the chip marks and a few of the deceased bugs that have made contact with the helmet and the visor as well. But yeah, with this was also used in a Williams test. Inside it's got the microphone, but incredibly it's just gaffer taped on, which you wouldn't think it in the magical world of Formula One. So yeah, that's a nice piece to have. When I was in the paddock, someone gave me a nudge and said, oh, there's Fernando. And I went over, I was very, very nervous. and he signed the visor. You can't make it out that clearly, but for me, I know it's signed, and that was to me. So I'm very pleased to have this. I worked with Nigel on a painting, and actually I was got Nigel to finish the painting himself. This is, for the family, a bit of a showstopper because my dad's a huge Nigel Mansell fan. Yeah, that's one of my favourite helmets. So the final piece, this is one which I've always wanted, but they're so hard to find. Funnily enough, it was someone who follows me on Twitter or X. They were selling it, and because they know I am big into Formula One, it's not all a show, they knew it was going to go to a good home. This is Lewis Hamilton's 2016 F1 helmet, and this is from the Monaco Grand Prix. So it's his 44th victory, so that's why he signed it with the hashtag there, 44. I mean, compared to some of the other official replicas, this is just on another level. The detail is just incredible. Seeing the reflective red on there as well just pops. So yeah, I'm very pleased to have this in the collection. I mean, the journey in getting hold of it in the end was easy, but actually it was everything that happened before. I mean, I would be searching for these helmets. The cost was a little bit out of my league, and it's something I had to build up to. But to actually get hold of this, yeah, it's something I look at every day. So I'm very proud to have that in the collection. So yeah, that's the hardest piece to get hold of, but in a way the easiest.